All right, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everyone watching the broadcast of round 2 of the BRL ACC tier here at Silverstone. But let's talk about Silverstone. It's known as the home of British motor racing. It is built on an all-airfield. Silverstone was first hosted a motor race about 17 years ago, or 72 years ago, I'm sorry, in 1948, and it has had 72 years of great racing ever since. It has a seating capacity of 150,000, and it is a 5.891 kilometer or 3.661 mile circuit with 18 corners. But today it's going to be hosting the GT3 series here in the Breakout Racing League. Like I said, for round 2. Round 1 was quite the interesting one, to say the least, and was quite enjoyable as the inaugural race of ACC XBOX was coming to fruition. It was at Brands Hatch, and it did have some remarkable racing as well as a little bit of setbacks, including a little bit of connection issues, but we'll see if we can try to sort that one up for the broadcast and in the server. But let's go talk about that real quick. So, the ACC XBOX standing so far after one Grand Prix. BRL Phantom leads. BRL Phantom is right now actually in the 6th position. Let's go on board with him. He's in the Bentley this week. He grabbed the top step of the podium and 25 points. It's Formula 1 style here, point system in the ACC XBOX tier to make it a little bit more simplified for the rest of the viewers. P2 was Bad Hunt House. He's right now in the Lexus still, which is good to see him continuing to keep his car. He is P2 in the standings with 18 points, so his name's 7 points back from Phantom. P3 in the final step of the podium was going to Aircav, who actually do not believe... Yeah, here he is. He's P8. He's also in the Lexus still again. He got 15 points, so his name 10 points back from BRL Phantom. So going to P4 was Skeppy. He had a very, very, very unfortunate race. He was going from challenging the 3 Lexuses to pretty much being all the way back in 8th, then fighting his way back to leading the Grand Prix and almost winning it, but miscalculated on the fuel and had to come in and got P4. He has now 12 points, so his name 13 points back from Phantom. And going to 5th is Deer Hunter. He stays in the Porsche, which is good to see. We actually have a little bit more Porsches with FSR Josh and Zach. Both of them are in the Porsche alongside Deer Hunter. So those 3 are going to see how they could do with the Porsche. But Deer Hunter got 15 points back from Phantom. He has 10 points to his name into round 2. We'll see what they can do there. And you probably heard me say that he's in this car this week, or this car this week, or he's in the same car. Well, drivers can change the car for the first 3 races to decide which one they enjoy the most. And after Bathurst, which is going to be the next race, it will have to be set in stone and locked. So keep an eye on what cars these drivers choose. We have a couple Ferraris in the field. DXC Ichigo, he goes from the McLaren to the Ferrari. Aus Formula, he goes in the Ferrari. Taylor Clan's in the Ferrari. SF1776, who was going to be our race winner, he got a little bit of connection issues. He got the pole position last week. He's in the Lexus. We have Jubu in the Audi. He's going to be one of the first Audis I believe we actually had in the BRL ACC. Aldifer, he is going to the Aston Martin. He was in the McLaren last week. Like I said, Eric Cav and Deer Hunter, they stay in the same cars. FSR Josh, he's in the Porsche. Porsche can do. MSR Racing is in the Lamborghini still. Let's see what he can do going on and taking on the streets and the corners here at Silverstone. Like I said with Ichigo, he's in the Ferrari this week. B-Dunk, he stays in the Bentley. The big boy. Let's see what he can do. Skeppy is in the Mercedes. He was in the Nissan last week. Let's see what he can do there. Like I said, mentioned earlier, Phantom was in the Lexus. He's now in the Bentley. We have 2 Bentleys on the field now. Like I said earlier, Zach, he's on the Porsche. Let's see what he can do. And Bajagnog is in the Lamborghini as well. So now the practice session has about 12 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. In case you haven't noticed, it's a little bit of a different layout here at Silverstone than you're probably used to in the Formula 1 brigade of fans there. It's kind of reversed. Instead of having, the old turn 1 at Cops and the old pit straight, well, that's actually going to be turn 1 in the pit straight. So it's pretty much reversed. Abbey is no longer turn 1, is going to be turn 11, I believe. Actually, let's go look up my thing here. Yes, it actually is going to be turn 11. So Cops will be turn 1, Beckett's will be turn 2 and 3. Through 6. Chapel will be turn 6, actually. 7 will be Stowe, instead of Vale and Club being the final corners. It is now halfway through the circuit with turn 8, 9, and 10. Abbey's turn 11 with Farm in turn 12, 13, and 14, and 15 is Arena. Turn 16 is Brooklands, 17 Lickfield, and 18 is Woodcut. So we have kind of a reversed layout, I guess you could say, going through for today's Grand Prix of Silverstone. So, now that we pretty much got all that out of the way, now we're going to take our action on track and see exactly who has what. So, I believe the first one going to, it's going to be difficult to see. I believe that is a car on a lap. It looks like, not really sure who. But let's go look at some through the field here. Zach and his Porsche. Quite interesting. Actually, I really like that livery on that Porsche. It's nice and clean and slick. It's very interesting indeed. I quite like that. Oliver, he's about 2.4 seconds off. He's, like I said, mentioned, he goes from the McLaren. He actually has a little bit of fun out here. That is going to be Deer Hunter and Bad Hunt. Let's actually go with Bad Hunt. Bad Hunt goes up to P5 on his lap, actually. About 7 tenths off of the original pole time, which is by Juggernaut for the practice session. So they have about 20 minutes of practice and about 15 minutes of qualifying ahead of the 45-minute sprint that is around the 18 corners of Silverstone. Oh, that is a nice slide from Aldifer going through the Magnus complex into Chapel now. Let's go see who exactly. That's a yellow flag through Stowe, I actually believe. Not really sure who that is. Aldifer's off the track, probably getting out of the way and going back to the pit lane. But taking a little bit of a rally, having some fun there, I guess. So let's go and find out exactly who has what. Like I said, our pole sitter from last week looked like he would have been the Grand Prix winner, SF1776 right now in the pits. Probably adjusting his setup, seeing what he can do to make his car the best able to go and contradict the corners here at Silverstone. Look at the top here. Phantom actually grabs original practice pole, I guess you could say. 59.382 for the Bentley there, about 12 1,000ths ahead of the Lamborghini by Juggernaut. And they have about 3 tenths or so gap to the Ferrari of DXD Ishigo ahead of Taylor, who's actually not Zach, who's actually about 9 1,000ths of a second behind Ishigo's lap. So now, if you're tuning into the broadcast, this is now round 2 of the BRL ACC tier. First round was at Brands Hatch, and this round is at Silverstone, and we're going to have a little bit of a break. Unfortunately, starting a little bit too late in the calendar, but for the holidays, anything is possible, I guess you could say. We'll come back with Bathurst. It's going to be really, really fun to see how these drivers conquer the great track that is Bathurst down in Australia. I can't wait for it, personally. It's a really, really fun track. By Juggernaut, like I said, these 4 up top, we're going to see what they can try to do in conquer Phantom. Phantom looking pretty sharp and pretty fast here. Scappy has the same kind of pace to see if he can try to go and contradict what happened to the end of him, or at the end of the race last week at Brands Hatch, and try to go bring that position higher up in the standings. He now goes P3, speaking of standings, on with about 2 tenths behind, almost 2.5 tenths behind Phantom. There's a little bit of a gap, about 4 tenths between Zach and Bad Hunt, and there's a bit of a gap between B-Dunk and Taylor Clan, about 7 tenths of a second there. But practice doesn't really matter. The practice times are not really what exactly you're going to go for. They're going to give you points. They're not going to keep you and set you for the race. It's just more of what exactly can you make out of the car, see what the car can do, see how it handles, see the limits, see the limitations, if you will. So, ironically, out of the 18 corners, we found the only straight that had both Lamborghinis on it, but I believe that is by Juggernaut getting out of the way for the likes. I believe it was Zach in the Porsche. Speaking of the Porsche, we have Professor Josh, his debut race here today. A little bit behind him is Skeppy. You'll see if the big look, Deer Hunter's now pulling off. Skeppy going wide. That's going to be a trouble corner, I believe. Is going to be turn 10 there. It's not that much of a kink, but it definitely can make you go wide. That's Mean Fern and the Aston Martin. 17 drivers on the grid so far today. That's going to be some really, really fun racing. The limit's 18, so we almost have a full entire grid here tonight. It's going to be great to see how these drivers take on the 18 corners at Silverstone. So I believe that is now the second Aston Martin with Mean Fern joining the list. See how he does in his Aston Martin V8. Oh, I actually don't think it's a V8. I may have made a mistake there, but you know what? Give me a pass, okay? It's a little bit early. Look at the Sky Ferrari. That is Taylor. That's actually really sharp. I quite like that, Taylor. Going through. He has a whole straightaway to himself. He's the only one on this side of the track, if you notice that. Look at the bottom right of the map. That's pretty cool indeed. He's found that much spacing. He's going to have a full track width to see what he can do to that Ferrari and find the limitations and the successful uses of that car, if that makes any sense. Not really much has been done up there with the likes of Skeppy, DXD Ishigo, and Zach and by Breakout as well. Those trying to just figure out where they are in relation to each other. He's the third and final Ferrari in the field so far, barring, I believe, someone else in Tron, not really sure. But we'll see exactly how that works out. So right now, P10 for the Ferrari there. Going through, as I said, MSR Racing, I believe. Right now, they slowest on the track, set a valid lap time. He didn't really qualify so well. Let's see if he can try to use this practice to, I guess, probably set himself up better for the race, if you know what I'm trying to say here. I can't really, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say, I guess you could say. I'll probably move on. Anyway, Ishigo and Josh are pretty close together, throwing to turn 11 now into Abby. It's going to be a difficult overtaking spot, not really much leeway here into Abby as well. You would think that in Formula 1 you could probably maybe sizable an overtake there if you were daring enough. Not in these GT3 cars. That's late on the brakes from the Ferrari of Ishigo. Almost tapped the back of Josh's Porsche. But like I said, it's going to be a lot different overtaking here in Silverstone than you normally are used to, especially because it's more of a reversed layout, I guess you could say, with turn 1 being Cops instead of Abby. So keep in mind how that will play out. I believe a couple other laps have been set, maybe somewhere in the grid. We're still waiting on the laps of Aircav, Josh, SF1776, and me in front are both in. I believe that is actually Taylor in the middle of the grass there. That's not Taylor, that's Taylor. And he did actually go and return to the pit lane, since you could do that in a set of course of competitive Sione. If you top hopefully off the track, off the racing line, you can go and return to pits a lot safer and quicker. But let's see if those drivers use that to their advantage. Skeppy, like I said, he almost won at Brands Hatch, and it was really gutting to see for him to not have that success. We'll see if he can try to, I guess, renew his lightness for that and grab the victory at the second straight British track in Silverstone here. So it's going to be interesting to see really how these drivers go. A lot more drivers are here than they were last week. I believe we had 13 last week, and now we have 17 drivers on the grid. We'll see how they pull out and figure themselves out for the practice session. About 5 minutes left to go. So still not really too much expectations. Too early in the season to really understand. Like I said, with those 3 race limits to change cars, you don't even know what car the people are going to go in next week over the break before Bathurst. So you could see people like, actually, let's put Phantom in for aspect here. Phantom was in the Lexus last week. He's now in the Bentley. You could possibly see him maybe in the Aston Martin next week. I mean, you just don't know. So you can't really set in stone what your expectations are. Who do you think is going to be quick here? But I can tell through the rest of the ACC grid, the 2 that they are predicting is SF1776 and BRL Phantom. Both of them probably going to be a head-to-head scrap through tonight's Grand Prix here at Silverstone. It's going to be fun to see, because they had a pretty good scrap, and it looked like it was going in favor of 1776 before his disconnect, unfortunately. But he was able to get back in the session, grab some points, and continue on. So, about 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Practice winding down. Laps are going to be, I guess, ramping up. It's not really representative. You don't know what kind of fuel load, what kind of setup people are testing. I know Oliver was playing around with some setups earlier, as well as Skeppy, trying to figure out what exactly can make their car, I guess, handle to their lightness. So let's see if they can try to iron out those deficiencies for their car and head into qualifying. It's going to be some fun to see. 15 minutes of an all-out sprint with the least amount of fuel possible, and everything on the car working to the best of its ability to see if it can go and grab pole position. We had a Lexus on pole last week, so let's go to another Lexus on one of the podium Lexuses, I guess you could say. Last week was a Lexus 1, 2, 3. Van Hunt splitting the 2 other Lexuses, grabbing P2. Let's see if he can try to, I guess, continue that streak of strong showingness. It was a lot more stronger towards the end of the Grand Prix of Brands Hatch. We'll see if that can be continued on for Silverstone. It's quite the different track than Brands Hatch, a lot more open space runoff, but it's they're both pretty historic, to say the least, so we're going to have some fun to see that happen there. I believe that is going to be it. So everyone else that is not on a lap now, or about to start a lap within the next next about a minute and 50 seconds, they're not going to be able to start another lap. I mean, Taylor cannot set another time lap. Same with the Audi of Jubu and MSR Racing, as well as SF1776 and Meanfern. So all those drivers, actually Meanfern and 1776, both not setting an actual timed lap in the practice session. We'll see how well they believe their car can handle through qualifying and the Grand Prix of Silverstone. Eric Cap has actually gone to the box and to the pit lane as well. He believes that that's pretty much going to be over unless he wants to make one more adjustment, maybe make a pit lane entry. Because that's definitely something you're going to be worrying about. So, I mean, especially if you look back, I think all different had an incident in the pit lane last week, I believe, hitting the pit entry wall. So that's definitely going to be possible. But one thing that is going to be possible is track limits a little bit more difficult here than they were at Brands Hatch, since Brands Hatch didn't have any runoff. So you're going to see possibly a little more people grabbing some warnings for exceeding the track limits. You only get 3 before you get a drive-through penalty, I believe. So some definitely corners to watch out for. Right here at Chapel, I mean, you could definitely, if you go a little bit too wide, you can use that runoff and kind of go onto that straight. So you're going to see who can, I guess, iron those issues out before it's too late. About 30 seconds into the session. Speaking of too late, Meanfern goes out in his Aston Martin, now going out to the pits. He has about 30 seconds to do whatever he would like. Not really sure. He may get around to, maybe to club, but that's maybe a little bit ambitious. Actually, that's very ambitious. The max wait time is up. The qualifying, I guess, sim programs should be up as well in the practice session here. So, at the moment, fortunately, Phantom is the head runner. He's going through turn 8 and 9 now, through Club and Vale, now going through into turn 10. So it's going to be difficult for these drivers. These 45 minutes, it's dry. Once again, another third of rain, but it is, the skies have closed, they keep the rain away. Let's see how these drivers are going to react with them. A lot of drivers are going to see how they can do on their debut. Josh, Os Formula, Jubu, MSR Racing's teammate Juggernaut, and the Lamborghini, as well as Zach, as well as Taylor, as well as Meanfern. I mean, a lot of these guys see what they can do on their debut race here at Silverstone. But that is going to be practice over for Deer Hunter. All the both of them are set their time lap, and that is going to be over. They are now across the checkered flag. Same with Zach and Skeppy and by Juggernaut. So it's going to be over for them. Now only about a minute and 15 seconds remain. Everyone else is going to be in the pit lane. SF1776 did not go out, so he has not set a time lap. It's going to mean he's actually through almost into the field. So he got a lot further than I thought he would. But there it goes.
Green light, go, go, go.
Of practice. I believe I actually may have a problem. Yeah. Alright, well, the same issue we had last week is going to happen again, so now keep in mind and stay with us here. A little bit of a technical. Issues. So we'll see here. Like I said, be patient with us as we're actually going to try to go load back into the session. Hopefully we can get these ironed out. We had the same issues last week at Brands Hatch, so let's see if we can I guess put our heads together and trying to figure out a way to improve this for the viewers of the stream. You came to see the on-track action, not a loading screen. I believe I actually said that exact quote last week, so hopefully I can say that again, but I believe last week we had the same issue going into the race, so that's going to be even worse. So hopefully I get a camera angle for, I guess, one of the top guys qualifying in the top couple rows or so, like I did, fortunately, with Neymar last week. So I can at least cover the action a bit before it gets to the point where I have to go in, disconnect, and reconnect to the server. So 15 minutes should be around. I mean, it should definitely be started by now, so it definitely will have some qualifying action when we load back into the session for you guys in the stream. Just give me one moment, and we should be there. That's not good. There you go. So we're now loading back into the session. So the session at Silverstone is at 2 p.m. The track temperature is at 34 degrees centigrade, and the air temperature is at 26 degrees centigrade. So it's going to be a little bit more of a cooler track temperature. So these tires will have to see if they can be warmed up and stay warm. So we'll see how these drivers' setups will kind of take that into play. Is there audio? Looks like we don't have audio. That's great. There we go. We got it back. So it looks like that is going to be... Not sure who's actually going to cross the line first. It's very difficult to see because of the numbers. I'm trying to figure that one out, actually. Let's go and fix that. So I'll have to deal with it again. So let's go through. Like I said, a lot of the ACC drivers. Actually, Neymar is now in the session as well. So we now have a full grid. Neymar's in the Lexus. So let's see what he can do. I believe he was in the Mercedes last week. So once again, another car that has, or another driver that has used the switch to his advantage. Like I said earlier, SF1776 and BRL Phantom are both drivers that are or were predicted to be towards the sharp end of the Grand Prix lineup coming into the Grand Prix itself. SF1776 is going on to turn 18, now on to the front straightaway now. Is this a valid lap to start? Yes, it is. It is a 2-minute.1. That is going to be the provisional pole for these guys to go and chase after. So Aldifer is about 10th off of that in the Aston Martin. He's about a 2-minute.2. We'll see if who else can go across. I believe that is... not actually sure who that is. That is MSR Racing, though. He's going to be across the line. He's P3 at the provisional moment, 1.9 seconds off. Deer Hunter now goes P3 in the Porsche. Throughout the rest, they should have more drivers on laps. That is a couple more. That is Zach, 2/10 off. Skeppy goes provisional pole with 58.9. That is a great lap from him. That is Aircav P3. That is Josh P5. And going through, I believe more drivers are about to complete their flying laps now for the first run. The Audi is going to be 9th. Actually, correction, 10th with the lap set by Bijagnog. That is about 6 hundredths of a second between Zach and Bijagnog. Between those two drivers there, pretty close for P2. That is another driver, the Speed Dunk. He gets P8 on the road, about 1.5 seconds off of Skeppy's 58.9. So it looks like Skeppy's definitely found a sweet spot with his setup. I believe that was someone else setting a lap. I'm not exactly sure. Well, there's definitely someone else setting a lap. I believe that may have been... Actually, I don't even know. Oh, Ishigo. He's gone P5. I believe that is one. Other guys have set laps. Osforman is P11 at the moment. He is 2.1 seconds off. Bad Hunt goes P6, and the Lexus 1.1 seconds off. So those two drivers improving and going in their respective spots. Phantom, he's yet to set a time. He's going through turn 11 now, approaching it. So we can see what he can do. Taylor's still in the pit lane. Mean Fern is going through into turn 10 now. Neymar is going, I believe, into Littlefield. Yes, he is. Going through Brooklands now. Oh, he actually spun in Brooklands onto the grass and out of the way of the Porsche of Deer Hunter. Let's actually go with Deer Hunter here if I can find him. He's down P13 for the moment. 2.3 seconds off of Skeppy's lap. Is he going to continue on? Yes, he is. Let's see if the Porsche can improve from P12. No, he doesn't. All the fur boxes, same with Mad Hunt. Anyone else, I believe, set flying laps? Yes, that's the new one. Zach gets ahead of Skeppy for personal pole, and then Skeppy goes even faster, gets it back, 58.692 for the Mercedes. So now Bijagnog gets P3, like he was a second ago, but now has a little bit further to catch Zach, about 2/10 off. Juggernaut is actually going up to the line now. Is he actually? Yes, he has. Actually, no, he's not. Phantom is actually, I missed him. He's gone up to P2 in the Bentley. A lot of traffic with the Audi and all the first Aston Martin. It's close between these two going into Maggots and Beckett's. And it looks like the dirty air of the wake of the Audi has actually gotten past, or has caught Phantom out a bit in the first part. It looks like the Bentley can just counter back some of that wake going through to Chapel. So anyone else set flying laps? Taylor and Neymar are the only two that have not. Meanford has gone P16, 4.7 seconds off of the pace there. Taylor's going through into the old, actually not the old, I guess the current pit straight for the Formula One circuit. He's going through Abbey now into the farm. So let's see what he can do. Neymar is still in the safety of the pit lane in the Lexus, seeing if he can do anything with his setup. I believe he's about to come out. He's gone off the jack, so we'll see what he can do. I believe that is the first car. I'm trying to figure out who exactly that is going through. There's a little bit of some traffic here. That's Taylor, Zach, and Deer Hunter going on into Brooklands now. Deer Hunter, like I said, P13, 2.4 seconds off the pace with the improvement from Skep, who's actually gone to the pit lane with a 50 original time with about 6 minutes left to qualifying. That's gone by pretty quick. Let's see if anyone else can possibly improve on that. Deer Hunter's going up to the line. He's 2.4 seconds off of his time. Is that going to be an improvement from him? No, it's not. Zach is behind him, though. Zach goes for his no pole, 3/10 faster than Skeppy. 58.35 for him. I believe that's another improvement from towards the bottom of the pack. I saw something, not actually sure. It's a bit of a shock, actually. I think it was 1776. It's P7 at the moment, 1.3 seconds off. That's a little bit of a shock, but there's still a long way of qualifying left to go. Taylor has gone through. I believe he may have been out. His lap is actually through now into Chapman, now into the hangar straight. Neymar has gone through 10 now in the Lexus. We'll see what he can do. That's really wide from him. Almost took out the cone. That is, see if he's aiming for that. I believe B-Dunk actually was the one setting a flying lap there and gone through Stowe. He's actually now up into P5. Correction, Ishigo is up into P5 and relegates B-Dunk down to P6. So that means a little bit more. The track is getting a little bit quicker now. B-Dunk pulls off to the side of the road, goes to the box. Let's look at Phantom. He's going through Stowe now, going now into the chicane. So going in through Club now and Bentley up to P, actually up to lap, corner 10. Thank you, I finally got it out. There's still a decent amount of traffic on this straightaway. It looks like this is where a lot of the club of the drivers are. They're going through, I believe that is Arena, actually. Let's see if I can find out what that is. It is SF7076, Zach and Taylor, all these three drivers in tandem going into Brooklands, seeing what they could do on their flying. So, I believe it was Zach was a little bit wide, and I believe he's going into box. That is going to be Taylor. He's going up to the line. Taylor has gone P10. SF7076 has stayed. Actually, he's improved. He's gone up to P8. He's improved by about 2/10 on his flying lap. So that puts him in a bit of a safer position with about less than 5 minutes to go, a little bit over 4. More drivers are setting their laps now. Neymar is the only one that has yet to set a time. And the Lexus, he's going through Stowe now, going down into the Vale chicane. So, as a lot of the drivers have now set at least a banker lap, you can definitely see some of the names from last week up towards the front of the grid, like Phantom, Skeppy, Ishigo. A little bit better of a lap time from him compared to last week's qualifying. Put him P5 at the moment. Then you have seen guys like Zach and Juggernaut, both of them up there. B-Dunk is around where he was last week before everyone started setting in a little bit quicker times. Keep an eye on Neymar, though. He was, I believe, P4 last week, or no, Mercedes. We'll see if he can try to go and judge that. A little bit wide through the arena there into turn 14. We'll see how they can do with the rest of the lap from turn 15 now. Only only about 3 more corners left to go. More drivers still trying to settle out. The closest one is going to be... not exactly sure. I believe going up through now into Woodcut for Neymar, and maybe, actually I think it's invalid. I believe that is what that red box means. I am stupid and do not know. The guy behind him, I believe that is going to be Os Formula. I believe also is invalidated as well. I know it's not Neymar. Neymar goes to 3.1. He goes to P17. Os Formula stays P13. There's a couple other drivers. I believe that is 1776 along behind Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. Taylor goes up. He is currently P10, stays P10. 1776 goes P4, about 5/10 off. And that is pretty close between them. That's 21,000 a second between Phantom and SM1776. Close again for those two drivers. More drivers going to set a time. Looking at the scoring sheets, it looks like everyone has actually stayed where they were. Maybe a little bit more subtle improvements, but not changing positions-wise. More drivers going through. I believe that is going to be... let's see who that is going through into Brooklands now. I believe that is Neymar, somewhere around there. No, maybe Josh then. This is bad. A lot of drivers are now going up to set their final times with about 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the session. So this will pretty much be the start. So if you have to go out of the pits, that's pretty much going to be it for SR Racing and Jubu and Bad Hunt House. All of them are not going to be able to set one more flying time. Still no improvement from the likes of Deer Hunter down in P14 at the moment. We'll see what he can do. He's not too far away from Os Formula. He's going around Woodcut now in the Porsche. Can he put himself into the top 10? He still has another shot to do it if he would like so, but it would be a lot safer and a lot cooler if he did it now. He stays P14. That is going to be, I believe, Os Formula N-Gang going through, yes it is, now into Woodcut for the Ferrari driver down in P13. He's the one that has to watch out. Neymar is in P15 now. He moves himself up from positions, drops MSR Racing and Jubu both down to 16th and 17th respectively. Formula, he will stay P13, but he has another lap to try and improve his time there. I believe going through. Phantom is going through, and a couple other drivers ahead of him. I believe that may... not really sure who that is. Alderfer ahead of him as well, and that is Mean Fern. Both the Aston Martins are on the same side of the track going through turn 18 for both of them. Mean Fern, he is P18. He stays P18. Alderfer, he'll stay P11. That is going to be, I believe, Phantom. He'll go P3, but he cannot improve his time. So that is going to prove quite costly for the rest of the drivers. SF1776, he's done. He stays P14. Skeppy's done. He stays P2. By Juggernaut, he's going to be on a flying lap. It's going to be enough to try to go challenge for pole. At the moment, he has Zach with a 58.35 in the Porsche. Can he stay on pole? That is all he's done. Like I said, Bad Hunt's done. Everyone else still on a flying lap is Juggernaut, Ishigo, Taylor, but let's go with the Juggernaut. He's going up to the line now. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. He stays P5 in the Lamborghini. Ishigo is going through Abbey now. Taylor's behind him. Both of them still on a flying lap. Os Formula is still on a flying lap. He's not too far away from Deer Hunter, I don't think, as well either. Deer Hunter's actually the next one across the line now. He's going through through Lufeld into Woodcut. Let's see what he can do on the Porsche. He is P14. Can he improve? Like I said last time, he has that one lap. Now here's his chance to improve into the top 10. He's P14. He go P13 ahead of Os Formula, but that's not too far away from what he has to do now. Neymar still on a lap. Os Formula's on a lap. Deer Hunter's on a lap. I believe Neymar's going to go on across the line next. Looks like he may have been... that's into the grass and into the barriers pretty hard from Neymar. So he's given up. Os Formula... he's P13 at the moment. Deer Hunter goes P12, actually. Os Formula now stays P14, and the session has now concluded. So that'll call it from qualifying here at Silverstone. And for round 2, that means Zach on pole position ahead of Skeppy, ahead of Phantom, ahead of SM1776, ahead of Bijagernog, ahead of DC Ichigo, ahead of V-Dunk, ahead of Eric Cav, ahead of Josh, ahead of Taylor. That's the top 10. All the for grabs 11th, Bad Hunt 12th, Deer Hunter 13th, Oz Formula 14th, Neymar 15th, Jubu in 16th, MSR Racing 17th, and Mean Fern is P18 and the slowest of the qualifiers in round 2. So keep an eye on some of these guys, though. Oh, it's happening again. I might as well probably do it before I can. Oh, the game crashed again. Good. So hopefully I can get back into the session before the race starts. Improve on what I did. So keep in mind there is a mandatory pit stop, I believe, in the session. So let's keep in mind to see what these drivers will do fuel-wise. It was pretty costly last week at Brands Hatch with SF7076's disconnect. He has not served his mandatory pit stop, so he had to go through back into the pits and serve it and go even further down to try and claw his way back up. So keep in mind that could possibly be a strategy, kind of mandatory pit stopping as soon as the pit window is opened and then going to the rest of the Grand Prix, or doing it in retrospect and going all the way through the end of the pit window, pitting right when it is about to end, and then see how long you can do it. But keep in mind that having that set up, are you going to go with all the fuel in the car now and just pit for tires, or not pit for anything? Maybe just go in and just serve the pit stop, maybe just change your brakes. Or are you going to actually put it in a strategic sense, change the tires, put gas in the car, get the car as low as you possibly can weight-wise, and improve the traction handling, etc. onto that pit stop window? So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers do in order to, I guess, combat each other in the strategy game here for Silverstone. So back again, like I said earlier, for qualifying, the track temperature and air temperature stays the same. Track temperature is going to be 34 degrees centigrade. Air temp is going to be 26 degrees centigrade, and starting at 2 p.m. So it's probably going to be staying that way. No change of weather going through. Let's see what happens there. Hopefully, I beat the time, and we're still on the grid. That'll be really nice. Yes, we are. We only can look at Zach. That's not good. So, 45 minutes. It's around an average lap time of about 2 minutes or so. So, according to my math here, we're going to have around 23 laps of racing. Keep in mind who can have that fuel window sorted, who can have their strategy on par, who can keep their car on the track for the entire length of the Grand Prix. And this one have 0. Great. Skeppy's now to meet 0 at the grid as they go to the line. Skeppy on the front row alongside Zach on pole. We're about to get the green flag in the drop and the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix for the round 2 of the BRL ACC Championship. Taylor's in no man's land in the middle of the pack, and I believe that is green flag, and that is green flag, and away we go for Silverstone, round 2 of the ACC Championship. Zach gets away and going to be clear in front. But look at Skeppy, though. He's going to fight back going into Beckett's. Is that going to be enough? He's going to try to hold around the outside there. Is going to be smart enough? Yes, he will. And look at 1776. He's in P3. He's going to try to see how far he can go up while he still has the time to catch everyone. Phantom is P4, so we'll see what they can possibly do in retaliation with each other. Those two are close. We have a little bit of a gap between. That's Phantom around, and that's Phantom crashing. That is going to be another car involved. That is Air Cav. Both of the drivers now off the exit of Chapel. Now look at these two, though. These three now. Zach's going to be trying to go defensive. He will stay ahead of Skeppy. SF1776 is going to get both of them going through in Stowe. And up into the lead goes the Lexus. He's going to see if he can try to get redemption for last week. Zach goes now from first to third. Skeppy stays in second. A little bit of gap now between Zach and Bad Hunt. He started P6. He's now up into P4. We're actually going to have to leave the session again because I cannot see literally anything. Which sucks, by the way. But everyone looks like they're going to be okay, except for the two of Phantom and Aircav. Both of them looks like they have significant damage. That is actually Skeppy around it. Abby, that is not going to be good for his redemption. It looks like he may have kept it out of the barrier and no damage to his Mercedes there. But that is going to relegate Zach up into second. But that's going to also give 1776's Lexus a lot more clean air and a lot less pressure behind. So the Porsche of Zach's going to see what he can try to do to go pressurize it. Bad Hunt, he was on the podium last week. He got P2. He's now in the podium positions again, only split by a Porsche. Aldifer, he was in another opportunity to get a podium. He was in that opportunity last week and had contact made and stripped it away from him. He's now up into P4. We'll see what they can possibly do in the next parts of the track. Lap 1 is over. That's probably going to be my cue to leave originally. Standings updated. SF7076 will grab the lead with Zach following him. Bad Hunt ahead of Aldifer. Oh, actually, I can't do anything. Oh, this is depressing. Okay, I'm going to have to do a full... of the game. Quite hectic, though, for the first part of it. There was a collision between the Bentley. Phantom, I believe he may have gotten onto the curb in the grass of Chapel. Got on the curb in the grass, like I said, and may have lost the car, overcorrected, and crashed into the Lexus of Aircab. Both of them having damage, with probably significant damage to the Bentley. Not sure how hard that's going to affect the Lexus. Probably see them in the pits whenever we load back into the session. SF1776 is around third or fourth whenever he qualified. He got that many positions up from wherever he qualified up to first. I'll actually keep that in mind whenever I get to it. So he had a great start from him. Zach only fell back one position. Skeppy looks like he had it all sorted. Got past Zach in a great move. Whenever SF1776 went around the inside of both of them, trying to go and switch back through into Stowe. But it looks like that in the end, I guess a mistake from him into Abbey has cost him his shot at P2 at the moment. There's still a long way to possibly go. About 45 minutes of the total race distance, and we're probably going to be around maybe 40 minutes as soon as I get back into the server to show you guys the action and bring you through round 2 of the BRL ACC Championship at the Grand Prix of Silverstone. Alright, let's get the action back going again.
Green light. Give it all you can.
There we are. There is the standings. We finally got him. So on lap 2, we missed about a lap, so I was about right. 40 minutes left in the session to go. SF7076 is your leader, about 4.5 seconds ahead of Zach in the Porsche in P2. Bad Hunt is P3. Well, let's go look at this fight here. Aldifer has a little bit of pressure setting on the Lexus Bad Hunt for that podium spots. He wants that. Look at Taylor Chan and Deer Hunter, 5th and 6th, respectively, for those two drivers. They're up by quite a lot of positions. That is Drubu, and Taylor actually may have made a mistake. He's now gone down a couple positions, down into P10. MSR Racing, he started around P17. He's up to 8th, up to 11 positions on the first lap. Neymar, not too different than him. Look at these guys now. Mean Fern, he goes a little bit wide. He's going to have a little bit of problem now. There's the Bentley of BRL Phantom. Looks like it may be not too much damage to the Bentley there. Knocks over the curb. Ironically, the guy he made contact with, Aircab, is going to be behind him in P13. They have Sarjaj for company. The Porsche by Juggernaut is right now the slowest runner on the grid. He's P18 and last. DXE Ishigo is P17. He's not too far away from Skeppy. Skeppy actually falls down to P16. They're both going to chase down the Bentley of B-Dunk, trying to figure out in jockey position. There's a bit of a gap, about 6 seconds behind from Josh to B-Dunk's Bentley there. I believe Deer Hunter is trying to make a move or go through something there. Going through, I guess, the interval timing line, actually. I'll get through it eventually. The closest battle on track, actually, Bad Hunt is pretty close to the back of Alderfer. Alderfer is actually really close and made a move up into P3. I missed that. He's now up in the podium positions, trying to go chase after the Porsche of Zach. Zach grabbed pole, and it looks like right now pole may have been, for the first 2 races, may just be a curse. But, you know, it's a little bit too early to predict that. We'll see how well they go through. They still have 39 minutes remaining still in the session. Going through a little bit of wide goes both drivers, I believe. Now, Ben Hunt's going to be probably enticed to see if he can get a run on these 2 drivers there. Pretty close battle between S Phantom and Taylor, and that's actually a lot of cars there. That is going to be Meanfern ahead of Aircab. Aircab actually tried to look for lead overtake. Phantom gotten past Meanfern, maybe around Abbey, or maybe even going into Brooklands. So that puts the Bentley up into P11 for him. A lot of people are in the grass trying to figure out ways to see around the track. That is Taylor up into P10 at the moment. Let's see if he can do that's a little bit of a nudge. I believe a little bit of a oversteer moment from Taylor. Phantom's going to try to look to the right or the left-hand side going into Stowe. Let's see, Phantom I guess goes up into P10. I believe Taylor has let the Bentley through. So that puts Phantom up into P10. Taylor down to P11. Meanfern looking to the back of him, but he has Aircab for company. And Lexus. Lexus goes to the right-hand side of Vale, and it looks like he's going to try to look for it, but there's not enough space for 2 cars, and will have to fall in behind the... Oh, that is a spinning... I believe that is Neymar. Neymar spun round at the... Actually, I got to find him. There he is. He spun round at turn 9 before getting to turn 10, the exit of Club. So that's going to have a hampering effect on his race. B-Dunk's now going to be trying to fight him. Battle between those 2 drivers. B-Dunk, it looks like at the moment, is P15. We got to wait until they go through the timing line, which is going to be around Arena. We turn 14 and 15. So it's going to be wild to see what happens there. Alderfer about 5/10 away from the Porsche of Zach. Both of those drivers are a little bit wide, a little bit squirrely for the back end of the Aston Martin. See if he can try to go chase down the Porsche of Zach. Still about a second gap between Jubilee and Austin Formula and the Audi. Looking, trying to go chase down both of those drivers, going to chase down Deer Hunter in the Porsche. Taylor, like I said, letting by Phantom, and the mistake from Neymar now puts Taylor up into P10. But Meanfern and Aircab may have a little bit of a scrap going on too soon as well. If not too careful, they could put Josh in that fight. Aircab's looking for it. It looks like he got a better run on the exit of Woodcut. Going into Cops in turn 1, is he going to try to go for a move? Nope, a little bit too far, not really a corner you can go too wide in, let alone in the F1 cars, definitely not in the GT cars. They all have to go a little bit wide there. You see Aircab and the Lexus goes a little bit wide through turn 1. But let's see, as these guys go through Mackett's and Beckett's, Meanfern has a little bit of a corner cut, so let's see how well that will hamper him. That may just be a warning, you never really know. Seppi's now into P17. Actually, I believe him and DXC Ishigo. Those 2, I believe they call each other the nemesis between each other. Even in F1, I guess that stays and carries over here. They're pretty close on track with each other again. Josh, he's like this battle's here. From Taylor down to Josh, all in this kind of a train going through Stone now into the Vale chicane. Looking to see if they can try to make a move. That is actually, who is that behind? Is that Taylor? It looks like Taylor. Yes, it is Taylor. Oh, that is a punt from Aircab to Meanfern. Meanfern's been sent round at the Vale chicane. It's not a great, I guess, corner for some of these drivers. I believe that is the second driver and maybe a couple of laps that has spun at Vale. First it was Neymar, then it was Meanfern. Both of those drivers have been sent in a spin. Ironically, there's Neymar going through turn 10 now on to the F1 style straight. But going through, there's a little bit more of a gap between Bad Hunt and Alderfer, but they're still kind of evening out, trying to go catch down. 7.7 seconds the gap between Zach's Porsche and the Lexus SF1776, trying to go figure out what they can do there. It's really close between the guys of Phantom, MSR Racing, Josh. Jubu's a little bit too far ahead of them at the moment. Phantom's going to try to see if he can work his way up, starting from, I believe, the top couple rows, and then getting the crash from Chapel, and see if he can try to go in recovery, drive his way up. He's in the top 10. He's going to have 2 points to his name at the moment with the F1 style points that we have in the ACC here in BRL. So let's see if Phantom can try to do what he's championship leader. So as the point stand, I believe SF1776 grabbed P10. So it may have been P9. So if it would stand, SF1776 and Phantom will be tied going into the break ahead of Bathurst, but there's still 35 minutes to go, a little bit less than that actually. But Phantom tries to go around, it looks to the left-hand side, down to the right-hand side of MSR Racing going into Stowe. Is going to be a late move going on for the Bentley. Is he going to fight on the outside of the Lambo? Yes, he is late braking for the Lamborghini, but looks like the inside line is going to go to Phantom, and that's going to be him up into P8. He's going to keep fighting back as best he possibly can in the Bentley. Now we got to go chase down the Audi of Jibu. So now up a little bit higher. Deer Hunter is now 8.3 seconds behind the Lexus of Bad Hunt. Behind him, he has Oz Formula to go try to keep him company in the Ferrari. And keep in mind here, they could actually bring the Audi into contention as well. Going through, it's really close between MSR Racing. That was before the timing line, I believe. Yep, so we'll have that updated in a second. The gap between P1 and P2 of SF1776 is exact 8.2 seconds. That is the gap going through as everyone hits through the timing line. The closest gap in the top 10, I believe, is actually going to be Josh. He's not too far away from SR Racing. That's a great run through turn 15. He's going to try to go look for a move. Going into Brooklands, looks like both of the cars have the same color scheme, so it's going to be a little bit confusing if we see them from a while away. Josh goes down the inside of the Lamborghini. Both gives him space. He's still now to the inside for MSR Racing, around the outside for Josh. And the Porsche are going to keep it around the outside. Is he going to try to go for it? It looks like a more tighter line for MSR Racing's Lamborghini. He's going to get him the upper edge. But Josh may keep the momentum going on to the front straightaway. Side by side, still going on as the complete lap. But Josh has to back out of it and give MSR Racing the racing line going into Cops. So it's been pretty interesting so far. Not too long has been, almost about 10 to 15 minutes have gone by pretty quick.
Pit window is opening.
And that's another good sign. Pit window is now open, so that's going to see who goes and darts into the pit lane and who decides to keep it out. So that's the more you wait, the more likelihood you have of possibly getting undercutted, if you don't know what that means. Actually, let's go look at Autofer and Zach. Both of them are going through turn 10 right now, side by side. It's going to be different with one car, much less with two. Autofer gets by and up into P2 in the Aston Martin. He gets by Zach's Porsche. Bad Hunt's now going to be in contention with these two. Fighting along, can he possibly see what he can do? Poke his nose in the Lexus and get back into the podium positions. But with Zach and Autofer, it looks like they've sorted that battle out at the moment, but there's still enough time for Zach to come back on Autofer and possibly get that position back. But speaking about what I was saying about the undercut, is if you hit before the guy you're trying to battle and run with those fresh tires while he's still on these O tires or fuel, in the case of if you do refuel, you're going to have a little bit more heavier fuel and he's going to have less fuel. However, he's going to have less grippier tires. You're going to have more grippier tires on a more grippier track, meaning you're going to have a little bit more of an advantage with them in trying to see if you can do the best laps you possibly can while they still have to pit. And the inverse of that is going to be the overcut, which is going to be the opposite. Is if you stay out longer than the guy you're trying to battle, use your less fuel and possibly do the best amount of times you can on your laps to stay ahead of them even after they pitted and you pit after them. But Bad Hunt, like I said, is going to try to see if he can stick his nose into this fight. As Alderfer got past Zach, and it looks like Zach may be struggling a bit on his tires. Let's see if Alderfer's Aston Martin can pull away. That is the Audi. That's the first one into the pit stop. As Jubu, he's going to see if he can try to get that done and out of the way. Mandatory pit stop. Only need one. That is Eric Abb. He does have some bumper damage. Let's see if he can try to repair that. Taylor Flan, he's going to go in behind him in P15 at the moment. He's now going to be passed by Neymar. So these three drivers are going to be the first ones into the pit lane from the mandatory pit stop, meaning that they don't have to stop the rest of the race unless they have another incident that requires them to probably serve and fix some damage possibly. So these three are going to see how they can do. Damage probably going to be repairing to the Lexus. I believe there's no damage to the likes of Taylor and Jubu, so see what they can possibly do. They probably will jump the Lexus of AirCab. Oz Formula going through turn 10 now, not too far away from the Porsche of Deer Hunter still. Those two have been pretty much all alone on that side. Quite a long gap between Bad Hunt and Deer Hunter, about almost the like of 10 seconds or so. Bad Hunt still not too far away from Zach, about 7/10. The gap between Bad Hunt and Deer Hunter, has it grown or shrunk since the last scoring line? It has definitely grown by about 2/10. So, but these three are still pretty close. Bad Hunt is about 7/10 off the legs of Zach. Zach is 1.1 seconds off of Aldifer. Is anyone else going to go into box? SF1776 stays out. Aldifer does. He's going to nose into the pit lane. Let's see what he can do on the mandatory pit stop and get into the pits nice and safely. He does get it all slowed down and into the pits. So that now relinquishes Zach to clean air in P2. Does anyone else go in to stop Deer Hunter? He's going to be the next one. He stays out. Os Formula stays out as well. Phantom, he's going to come in and probably serve that mandatory pit stop, fix some damage to his Bentley that he could have on his front bumper. That could definitely help him out. Josh stays out. MSR Racing will dive in the Lamborghini. B-Dunk will stay out. Juggernog and the other Lamborghini will stay out. Bean Fern in the Aston Martin, he had that spin. He'll stay out. Neymar also had a spin. He'll stay out, though. Skeppy, he's going through now into Brooklyn's now. He's a little bit too far back to pit at this very moment. But will the Mercedes driver come in to stop? So AirCab, Taylor Clan, and Jubu do not have to stop again. Like I said, that's what the green box beside their name means. MSR Racing, he is in the pit lane now. Aldifer has cleared his mandatory pit stop. Skeppy does come in. And Phantom as well is in the pits as well, trying to serve that. Going through Abbey now between Zach and Bad Hunt, the closest battle on track on the circuit. May actually go to Juggernog and B-Dunk. B-Dunk actually gets passed by the Lamborghini of Juggernog. We missed that due to the timing line malfunction there. But Zach still has that Lexus for company. He's not going away. Bad Hunt really wants to grab this podium again. He did it last week at Brands Hatch. He'll do it possibly at the moment. He is on the podium. So we'll see if he can keep it for the rest of the 30 minutes. The pit window is open for another 15 minutes. Means it will close around 12 minutes left to go in the Grand Prix. So all the Phantom and MSR Racing all have cleared their mandatory pit stop. No problems with that there. SF1776, is he going to stay out? Yes, he is. Zach and Bad Hunt, they looks like they're both going to stay out, probably use the nature of the tow and try to go push each other to go as fast as they possibly can. Deer Hunter is going to be the next one. He's P4 and he has not made his pit stop yet. He'll stay out. Oz Formula will dive in, possibly see if he can do an undercut on the likes of Deer Hunter. We'll see if how that works out for him. Josh, he comes around into Woodcut now. Is he going to dive into the nature of the pit lane? No, he will not. He stays out the Porsche. By Juggernaut and B-Dunk, both of them are in a scrap here. We'll see if one of those dives in and probably force the other one to do an overcut. And Juggernaut goes in. B-Dunk, will he go in as well? Yes, he will. He will cover off the Lamborghini. Mean Fern and Neymar, those two are looking going, and Mean Fern goes in. Neymar stays out. Neymar's going to try the overcut on the likes of the Aston Martin there. With 1776 going through turn 10 now. About 13.6 seconds over the likes of Zach and Bad Hunt, trying to figure out exactly I'm not really sure exactly how long the pit stops will last, but they are definitely not the 20 seconds that we find in Formula 1 pit stop racing, due to the nature of the pit lane being 31 miles an hour, I believe, was the exact speed limit there, so it's going to be slower there. So it is going to be faster to, I guess, I'm going to sound really dumb with saying this, it's going to be faster not to pit. However, it is forced to, so you must grab that pit stop. If you wish to change the tires or add some gas, it's definitely optional, but you can do it, and it can help you out and grab that strategy and grab that fresh rubber as well. Keep an eye on these two, though, as they will go through. Woodcut now is SF76. He stays out, so he's going to keep going and trying to see if he can run as many laps as we can, drain this pit window period to its latest before he decides to turn into the nature of the pit lane. As for Zach, he'll go in. Bad Hunt will stay out. No, he will actually go over the grass and go in, try to cover off the likes of Zach's Porsche. What will Deer Hunter do now, though? He's going through Woodcut now, going through the rest of the foot now into Woodcut, I'm sorry. So he will go into the nature of the pit lane as well. Will Josh, the other Porsche, there's two Porsches in, will the third one go and join them? Going through, looks like he will stay out. Yes, he will. Neymar going through in to Brooklyn's now in his Lexus. Bajagnog in the Lamborghini going through turn 10. The only one on this side from P8 below, other than DXC Ishigo, who has not made a mandatory pit stop. Everyone else from Os Formula to Skeppy have. Altifer is the one outlier in P7 ahead. He's provisional P1, but Zach and some of these guys still have to make their stop completely. So we see how they circle out. Josh goes through. He is behind. I believe that is Skeppy. Skeppy in 17th. He had so much promise for this race. And I believe Bajagnog is actually going in. And actually, Bajagnog's had it off. He goes in and actually taps Phantom's lane. Bentley, I'm sorry. So that goes through. I believe that is turn 15 now. So that was an off for the Lamborghini and Bajagnog. And a couple positions lost. I believe it's also and Jubu both up into the top 10. Puts actually Phantom up in the top 10 as well. Puts Bajagnog down to 11th. A lot of pace for the Lamborghini. Unfortunate what happened. Zach is actually out the pit lane. He stays and actually will go provisional P1 at the moment. Bad Hunt House will go not too far away from him. Both of them are still in sequence. We'll find his Lexus. There he is. Actually, he is actually behind Aldifer. Aldifer is ahead of him. So where is Aldifer in relation to Zach? He's actually ahead of Zach. So Aldifer is now P1, Bad Hunt's P2, Zach's down to P3. There goes Deer Hunter ahead of Os Formula, and Jubu and Phantom all have now made their is now into the nature of the pit lane as well for the Lamborghini. But so is the SF1776 machine in the Lexus. So we'll see how he shuffles out. We thought that Zach would shuffle out ahead of Aldifer. Looks like Aldifer's undercut may be beneficial. Now he's going to be the one battling for that P2 spot. He was ahead of Zach before Aldifer came into the pits, but it looks like Zach had a big problem in the pit lane. He's around 10 seconds behind Bad Hunt, so he lost so much time in the pit lane. That's not good for the Porsche there. Bad Hunt stays P3. He actually gains the position. He was P4 before Aldifer came into the pit lane. So, and we'll see if the Lexus...
We're on the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
As we have been given the halfway from race control, so that means there's not too much longer left to have to serve those mandatory pit stops. And that means Neymar and Josh both will dive into the nature of the pit lane. SF1776 is now cleared. Where is Aldifer in relegation to this? Aldifer's going through Woodcut now into turn 18, so he's going to be well behind the likes of SF1776. He's going through Mackens and Beckett's into turn 3 now. So quite a big distance between the Lexus and the Aston Martin. But where will the likes of Josh and Neymar circle out? Josh was around the Lamborghini by Juggernog, but Juggernog had that off down in P17 now behind Skeppy. He's going through actually behind SF1776 out of the way for blue flags and lapping him going into Stowe. Actually, that was almost a collision there, literally leaving the brakes for Juggernog. So that leaves about 21 minutes and 30 seconds left in the session. Neymar is still in the pit lane. Josh, he's going out. He's actually going out right behind Deer Hunter. Look at these three, though. Deer Hunter, Phantom, and Josh. All of these three now get sorted up. Phantom now goes up behind Deer Hunter. So we'll see what he can do, trying to get past Deer Hunter in the Porsche. He was around P6 before he came into the box P5, P6 area. So as we go through the timelines, we'll see exactly where these guys shuffled out. Are they ahead of the No, they are not. That's battle for P7. Deer Hunter lost that fight to the Audi of June and Os Formula. So Os Formula does gain a great undercut on Deer Hunter and put him up into P5 in the Ferrari. He's about 12.1 seconds off the Porsche of Zach going through Abbey and Farm now into turn 13. So everyone has made the mandatory pit stop except for the Ferrari of DXC Ishigo down in nice drifting going through into Littlefield now into turn 17. But the closest battle on track is still going to be Deer Hunter and Phantom. Yes, it is. It is really close between these two. The Bentley is trying to go fight back from his early incident with Air Cab, trying to go fight it back. He's going to make a move. He thought about it, almost hit the back of Deer Hunter's Porsche. He's in a Porsche sandwich between Deer Hunter and Josh in the P8 position at the moment, and that it means the final mandatory pit stop is being served with Ishigo going into the pit lane, so now he's going to be on track for the rest of the Grand Prix. Look at this, though. Phantom goes looking to the right-hand side of Brooklyn's now into into the field. Nothing can be done there. Possible switchback looking for the Bentley, trying to find a better exit line going on to Woodcote. Deer Hunter has been really good, though, at keeping some of these guys behind. He did it with Oswald for a while, and he do it with Phantom's Bentley. Bentley and Phantom, both of them having a lot of pace at the moment, so let's see what they can do as they go pitch down the Audi and Jubu is well in front of them. Bad Hunt's 1.9 seconds behind Aldifer, but we'll keep an eye on this battle of the two Porsches and the Bentley. So if you have two heavy boy, or actually no, one heavy boy against two really light Porsches. See how that really works out. The two mid-engines versus a front engine. Going down the hangar straight, Phantom now will have to try to figure out if he's going to make that move. He has to try to think about it pretty fast, because Josh may think about it as well if he's not careful. Lay on the brakes for the Bentley, and Phantom almost going in the back of the Porsche of Deer Hunter. So that probably compromises his line through Stowe, but he's looking through it though. He's not too far back. He's going to try again, looking into Vale. Can't be done. Hops over the curb, trying to figure out the way past the Porsche. It's a little bit more difficult than he would have thought. In the top 10, let's actually run through that real quick, as we have less than 20 minutes left to go in the session. Phantom still looking, now going to the right-hand side of Deer Hunter. He's going to go for it through Abbey. He's going to get it, though. Is he going to have enough time to keep ahead? Deer Hunter is going to look through it, though. He's going to try to think about it. No, he cannot. Phantom is now up into P7 ahead of Deer Hunter. Now, Josh may be looking to try to go and take advantage of this, being an opportunist, and try to get up in ahead of his Porsche teammate in Deer Hunter. But speaking about manufacturers right now, the most successful one has been Lexus. Right now, they have 2 out of 3 podium positions to their name. They have 4 cars in the field. Last week, they had 3 podium sitters. All 3 podiums gone to Lexus. SF1776, unfortunately, was not one of them. He's shown that once again he has a lot of pace. He has about 17 minutes and 38 seconds left in the session going through Stowe. He has quite a big gap over Deer Hunter. Is he now going through the timing line? I believe that's Aldifer. I'm sorry, not Deer Hunter. So let's see what exactly the time was. It was around about, 13 seconds or so. Last time I checked, that's 18 seconds. Maybe it was a little bit more. But Aldifer has almost 20 seconds to go try to catch SF1776 if possible. Bad Hunt's actually gained about 6/10 on the Aston Martin of Aldifer. He's now down to 1.3 seconds in his battle with the P2 man of Aldifer. So let's actually go look back on the Deer Hunter thing here back with Josh and Phantom. He now has Josh right there, right on his back bumper. About these 2 Porsches going through the hangar straight, going into Stowe. Will Josh think about going for the move? Deer Hunter going defensive. He's going to force Josh to go to the left, moves over, and prevents the overtake from happening there. Josh will stay P9 at the moment, going into, actually out of Stowe. Going into the Vale chicane, are we going to see a late move from the Porsche? Nope, a little bit too far back for them. These 2 looking quite racy. Just figure out who can be the second best Porsche. Right now, the best Porsche goes to Zach. He's up in P4 pretty calmly up here, not too far away. He's about 7 seconds off of Bad Hunt, which is quite safe of a gap to Aus Formula behind. So he's going to be in no man's land at the moment. The best Ferrari goes to Aus Formula. He's the only one in the points. If you are not understanding exactly, the BRL ACC tier uses the Formula 1 point system, so the top points will be awarded for SF1776 at the moment, for example. Be 25, then it'll go down to 18, then it'll go down to 15, then it'll go down to 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1. There will be no point awarded for fastest lap. So at the moment, that will be a total of 10 points going to Aus Formula's Ferrari. So going through, Josh and Deer Hunter are still, I believe, going at it. Yes, they are. They're not too far away from each other going into Woodcote now into turn 18. I believe they are actually going to be the closest battle on the circuit, not too far away from each other. The Porsches are trying their best to see who can muster up enough points in the championship standings. Let's actually go through the championship standings one more time. Let's do it as they run this time. I believe it was P9 for SF1776 last week. So with the 25 points at the moment, he will go up to P2 in the standings, only behind BRL Phantom, who got the win from last week at Brands Hatch. He now has 7 points. That'll actually not 7. He's in 7th right now. He will have about 6 points to his name, putting his total at 31. As we'll go to Josh and Deer Hunter, they're really close. We'll see if they can try to do it for it. Josh maybe looking to the left, Deer Hunter not really giving it to him as they go through still once more. Deer Hunter a little bit wider than Josh, though, as Josh is going to try to think about a way to switch it back. Yes, he is. He's going to go to the right-hand side. Is it going to be enough? Not close enough. He's going to try to go for it, though, around the outside of Vale, but not going to happen. Switch back, though. Look at this. Here he goes, the two Porsches. They're going to go side-by-side through turn 9 into turn 10. Looks like Deer Hunter's going to keep the position there in the Porsche camp. But Phantom's actually gotten past Jubu for 6th position. I missed that, as the timing sheets do not really express the gaps as much as they go through the sector timing line. Speaking of the sector timing line, Osformula will be next. Zach has actually gained quite a bit on Bad Hunt, and he's actually lost. Actually, that's a really big gap to Osformula, about 17 seconds. But Zach is not too far off. But look at these two, though. They're pretty close now, about 0.8 of a second for the second spot of the podium. Bad Hunt was P2 last week. Can he get it again? This time he has to battle Aldifer instead of the Lexus of AirCav. I believe Deer Hunter and Josh are still kind of somewhat at it. Actually, there was a mistake, I believe. Josh is now about 9 seconds behind Deer Hunter. So I missed that and probably switched away at the wrong time. That's really unfortunate to see what happened between those two. They were really close on track. But now you see these two are going to be the closest on the circuit, as we still have about less than 15 minutes remaining, about 13 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact. So we'll figure out who can muster up enough strength to keep their consistency levels remaining high. Bad Hunt's going to see if he can try to go catch Aldifer in the Lexus. See what that Lexus can do. Probably another 1-2 for Lexus. It was a 1-2-3 last week, like I said previous. Can it be another 1-2? Aldifer is going to be the first non-Lexus in the top 2 spots. I don't think it's going to be a 1-2-3 this week. But there's still enough time, I guess, to make it a 1-2. We'll see how that works out. Zach, don't count him out, though. He's been gaining a quite significant amount of time on Bad Hunt. He's now 5.5 seconds behind the Lexus. So we'll see if the Porsche can go and disrupt the Lexus podium streak, having at least 2 cars. Pit window's closed. Zach's gone pretty wide through turn 13, I believe, now, going into turn 14. So we'll see if that's going to probably hamper his, I guess, mobility going on, trying to catch the Lexus of Bad Hunt. Let's go back to Bad Hunt now, though, as he's going through into the field. Not too far behind Aldifer. He's trying to pressurize that Aston Martin into making some mistakes, trying to make sure he can grab that position for Lexus. That is a by-juggernog off the side of the track. Out of the race. Yeah, he's actually gone back and left the session. That's going to be our first one out of the session. He now grabs... Actually, that's 2 cars out of the session. Who was the actual first one? I missed that. We have 2 cars out. One of them is by Juggernaut. Who is the other one? I believe MSR Racing just passed Neymar for P11. B-Dunk is P10. Let's actually go through that real quick as we keep the battle between Bad Hunt and Oliver on the screen, trying to look between these 2 drivers. Zach's actually gapped them, or Zach's fallen back about 2/10. The last sector timing line they've went through. Bad Hunt's gone really closer, though. He's right there on the back of the Aston Martin, trying to figure out a way through now. It's going to be the difficult part for Bad Hunt. So we've lost 2 drivers, but we have about 11 minutes left to go. There's still 16 on the road. And every lap from the drop of the green flag so far through the entire about 30 or so minutes, 35 or so minutes, SF7876 has been your leader. P2 has been shuffled around quite a bit between Aldifer, Bad Hunt, and Zach. All 3 of these guys have been pretty much in the same spot of the track. I believe Deer Hunter going through the timing line now, going through... We're trying the rest of the grid here. Zach's gained quite a bit on that battle. Let's go back up to Bad Hunt and Aldifer. They're not too far away, about 3/10 last time they went through the timing line. It's a lot closer this time. Here's the timing line now, and that is at 5/10. So it was 26.9 seconds is the gap between SF1776 and Aldifer, as they actually crosses the start-finish line as they go through into Brooklands now. For Bad Hunt, he's going to have to find a way through. There's not that much time left to go, probably around roughly 5 or so laps, maybe 6 at the most, depending on how SF1776 gets on with it. Trying to figure out a way through is going to be a lot just kind of catching up to the back of the Aston Martin. So where will he go for it? There's a lot of overtaking opportunities with chicanes and with heavy braking zones, which will the Lexus use to his advantage. He has going into turn 13. That's a definite one he could use. But I mean, going into Stowe is another one. Going into Vale. Going into Brooklands. There's a couple other ones he can use. So, I mean, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities on late braking zones, but coming out of traction zones is going to be key as well, like Bad Hunt just did there. Aldifer going to break the toe a bit to prevent the Lexus from getting a little bit too close and slicing up a move down the inside or maybe around the outside of Stowe. So that keeps him there, but Aldifer goes a bit deep. Bad Hunt's going to do a little bit of a shallower line, grab a little bit better exit speed than the Aston Martin going into Vale. One of these two drivers are going to have to yield. One is going to have to break. Will it be Bad Hunt or will it be Aldifer? Aldifer's gotten pretty close, but don't talk about gotten pretty close until you see what Zach just did. He's now 2.4 seconds. That's about 3 seconds the last time I checked about his interval to Bad Hunt. He's not out of this fight. We could possibly see a Porsche battling for the podium in the next 8 minutes of the race, around 4 to 5 laps to go. So definitely enough time going through Bluefield now into Woodcut. But here comes Bad Hunt, though. He's got a lot better of an exit speed through 13, but a lead on the brakes for Aldifer. He's going to try to go and keep ahead, and he does keep ahead of Bad Hunt's Lexus and stays in P2. But don't look now. Zach's now within a second of these two in front. With these two battling, Aldifer being pressurized by Bad Hunt, that's caused Zach to come all the way back for about 6 seconds to right there. He could try to go contest for this podium as much as Bad Hunt can contest for P2. So Bad Hunt now has even more pressure. He needs to either get past Aldifer or Zach gets past him. That's a big move to make. Which one will he do and where will he do it? And that's another thing. Where will Zach do it? Because Zach definitely wants to get by. He's been on the gas ever since the last time I've seen his get over. He's now within 4/10 of a second of the Lexus of Bad Hunt. So there's a lot of places to do it and a lot of time to do it. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the session. Bad Hunt is right there to the back of the bumper of Aldifer in the Aston Martin. He's right there, but that's a little bit wide through into Chapel now. That's probably going to entice Zach to do something. Here he goes to the left-hand side of the Lexus. He's going to try to make a move. Aldifer goes a little bit defensive, trying to break the toe a bit, and the straight line speed of the Lexus will keep ahead of the Porsche going into Stowe. So, like I said, Zach's not afraid to make a move. That just showed it there going into Vale. Will Bad Hunt think about it, and he's going to have to make that move quick before Zach thinks about it again, because Zach will make it. He will make it work. I mean, that's just not the only thing we've seen. Looking through the rest of his racing that we've seen so far in BRL, in Tier 2 especially, he will make a move work if he wants to enough. Zach's going to go to look into the left-hand side now to the right of Bad Hunt's Lexus, but not going to happen into Abbey there. Not too far away. Like I said, the predicted laps will be around 23. 18 of them has been done. How many more will we got before it is going to be too late for some of these drivers? The big fight right now, Josh is actually looking close to the back of the Audi if you not to stay away from this battle, though. This one is a little bit more enticing. 3 drivers within about a second of each other trying to figure out which one will break first. Zach has gone right up to the back of Bad Hunt ever since the last couple of laps. How far will Bad Hunt go to keep ahead? Look at Zach drifting through into from Brooklands, so that's going to hurt him now with at least less than 6 minutes left to go in the session. Looks like it didn't hurt him too bad. He's still within fighting distance of Bad Hunt. So Bad Hunt now has a lot to play for. Aldifer could be losing. Aldifer has a lot. I guess you could say it has a lot less to lose in respect to the podium. Because if Bad Hunt overtakes him, he still has that podium. But for Bad Hunt, if he gets overtaken by Zach, then that podium's so too late. And right in his grasp, but just not close enough. But what is close enough is definitely going to be the battle between him. He goes to the left-hand side of Stowe. Is he going to try to go for it? The Lexus has a little bit better straight line speed at the moment, it looks like, than the Aston. Right there is really close between these two. Later on the brakes for the Lexus, but as the straight line speed, I guess the actual line positioning, Aldifer will keep ahead of the Lexus going into Stowe there. It looks like Stowe has been preferred overtaking opportunistic spot for Bad Hunt going in on Aldifer. He's tried it a couple times in the last couple of laps, so it looks like he will try to make it move there, but Aldifer may know what's coming. Zach may try to go and make an opportunistic move before that when Bad Hunt isn't expected. You can see Phantom, he did it around the inside of Abby. Could Zach possibly thinking about it somewhere as well, as he could possibly think any moment? Bad Hunt late on the brakes again, trying to figure out a way past the Aston Martin. Zach, to see if he can try to open up the line, going in, trying to do a little more of a hard corner. Actually, he's messed that up a bit. He's got a little bit farther back than he may have wished to be. The gap's now 6/10 between Bad Hunt and Aldifer. A little bit breathing room for the Aston Martin to have going into the next 4 minutes. As SF1776 going through Beckett, so we may actually have around 3 laps remaining in the session. So I may have actually nailed it down to the T when it comes to the lap distance. But when it comes to the podium, I don't know exactly how much you want from me. I mean, I don't think you even need me here to watch this Grand Prix to see how exciting it may be. Bad Hunt still trying to find a way past Aldifer. It is going to have to happen soon. Less than 3 minutes and 30 seconds now on the clock. The time is running down for that Lexus to get past Aldifer, and the time is on the side of Aldifer, I guess you could say, to try to keep ahead. If you get back Bad Hunt into Zach, and Zach make that move into battle, Aldifer can pull away. But if Bad Hunt goes for the move on Aldifer, Zach could probably get them both. So now it's the game of strategy. Who makes the move first, and if you make it, you gotta make sure you get it, or you will lose your spot and maybe even one behind. Or if you do misjudge a corner, you could possibly have a collision with how close these guys are. All 3 of them running a bit wide to the exit of Stowe. Going into Vale, but looking a little bit defensive from Zach, trying to go to peek to the Aston Martin. And Aldifer will keep ahead, but look how close these guys are. They're almost nose to tail with all 3 of them. I mean, they're almost pushing each other through a lot of these corners. Aldifer is going to have a long way away. Zach's going to look and peek and come back in line, stay in P4. That is a little bit of a mistake from Bad Hunt. Got on the curb a little bit too much. That's going to put him out of contention to that podium. He's going to have a long way to go back. That's 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. That's not what he needed right now. Now he's on the going from attacking to get P2 to now attacking to get a podium, period. He has to go try to go and catch Zach and try to see if he can go grab that P3, which he had before. But now Zach has been relinquished and safe up into P3. Can he try to make Aldifer even more pressurized than Bad Hunt could? Because you know Zach was going to go for the move. He tried to go for it a little bit earlier. Aldifer makes a mistake. Here comes Zach to the left-hand side. He'll go around the outside of Bluefield. Can the Porsche get around the Aston Martin? Looks like better of the lines for the Aston Martin, but the Porsche, a little bit of contact, door banging each other out of Brooklands and out of Woodcut. Going up into P2 is Zach. He now goes up. We have probably about 2 more laps remaining as SF1776 has actually gone through Stowe. And more contact and more spun around. Aldifer again! Not again! For Aldifer. Looked like he had it again. Almost another podium taken away from him. He's now P4. Bad Hunt's now going to be up into P2. And Zach going to be P3. Contact in Stowe, or in Cops, I'm sorry. That's going to be even more heart-wrenching defeat for Aldifer. But he has a lot of time to get it back. He has around 2 and a bit laps to try to go and see if he can catch Zach. Zach now on the podium in P3. Bad Hunt. He's in P2. Can he hold it? This is where he got last week. And if he holds it, he's going to be the championship leader. Going into the break in Bathurst. He's going a little bit wide into Stowe, though. That may entice Zach if he is close enough going in to Vale. He's not close enough. He's going to have a little bit less than a lap or so. We're going to keep an eye on 1776. He's maybe about to start the final lap. It's going to be quite a bit of time between him and Bad Hunt. So, as he actually may go around to lap some cars, if I'm not mistaken. He's already lapped maybe a couple. Going through into Abbey now. Bad Hunt will keep ahead of Zach, but we are now going on to the exit of Woodcut. Now for 1776. There's 20 seconds left to go in the session. He crosses the line. The leader is on the final lap. We're now on the final lap of the Grand Prix here at the Grand Prix of Silverstone. Bad Hunt now has to fight for it. A lot to gain for. He's about a sector behind Lexus of SF1776 at about 6/10 ahead of Zach's Porsche. Aldifer has lost out. He's about 4.5 seconds behind the Porsche of Zach. Can Zach go for it? Can he gun it to make sure he can get it to get P2? Or can Bad Hunt secure his place on the podium once again? He got P2 at Brands Hatch. I've said that many times, but it doesn't make it any less true. Can he make sure he gets that again? Us Formula in which positions? Phantom's up to P5, a great recovery drive for the Bentley. He's now gone from around the same place he is now to around last on lap 1, back up to P5. So great drive from him. He now has one final lap to make sure he can try to hold it. So as for SF1776, he's going through turn 10 now. As you see a couple guys in front of him, that's Neymar and the Lexus going through Abbey. But we'll go back on Bad Hunt and Zach while we still can, before it's a little too late. Going into Stowe, this may be the last opportunity for Zach to possibly get a move done. If he is not careful enough, Zach's going to find it. Breaking the draft. Bad Hunt goes to the left, to the right, back to the left, back to the racing line, trying to keep Zach at bay. Not much can be done there for Zach. He's a little bit too far back, a little bit on the curb again. He did that in Abbey. He's going to have now a little bit more of a redemption to keep ahead of Zach now, going through into Abbey. But going into Brooklands for the final time, it's redemption day for SF1776. He lost it all in heart-wrenching defeat in Brands Hatch. He was leading, disconnected, and got from bad to worse. Well, I guess you can't get any worse than this. Ha, that's a joke. I'm saying you can't get any better than this. He led from the drop of the green flag, and now to win the Grand Prix of Silverstone and the top Lexus. Once again, Lexus will grab another podium. As for Bad Hunt and Zach, they're now side by side trying to figure it out. Zach goes to switchback. They're now going to turn 15. Zach has one opportunity left in a heavy braking zone, has a better traction off of turn 15 than Bad Hunt. Bad Hunt goes even more defensive in the Lexus. He's going to try to keep that P2. Makes it a Lexus 1-2 again. Zach laying on the brakes, trying to make sure he secures that P2 for Lexus. There's only 2 more corners left to go, and it's going to be really difficult for Zach to get it. If he cannot, it's still a podium regardless. Bad Hunt, he looks like he will hold on. What a race from him. He'll grab P2 again. Zach will come across the line from pole. He'll finish P3 in the race. Aldifer, he'll come across and finish P4 after another heart-wrenching, gutting, and just horrible incident that has taken him off the podium once again, 2 weeks in a row. Phantom, another recovery drive from him. Actually, a nice one to be exact. He'll grab P5. Os Formula in his debut will grab P6. FSR Josh, he will be the second Porsche. He'll come across the line in P7. That'll be a nice Hall of Point 6 to be exact for his name. Here comes Deer Hunter and B-Dunk. They're really close on the exit and not too far behind. Can B-Dunk try to get it? No, he cannot. Deer Hunter holds on. He'll grab 4 points. B-Dunk will grab 9th and 2 points to his name in the process. Aircab, another recovery drive, and he'll grab 1 point to his name, and that'll be it for the points paying to positions. And what a race it was. Taylor comes across the line, P11. Meanfern and the Aston Martin, the other one in the field, will grab P12. P13 will go to Jubu on his debut, and the Audi, he's going to try to come across the line nice and smooth. MSR Racing, P14. Another, I guess, disappointing day from him, but to cross the line and finish the race is, I guess, the first thing you need to try to do. Is that right? Before you try to get points, before you can walk, or before you can run, you need to walk, I guess you could say. Neymar, he's come across the line. He's P14, and he will be the last one to cross the line. DXD will be P15. We lost 3 drivers from today's race, but that'll do it on track, and what a great race it was. Oh, I need to catch my breath. Catch my breath indeed. Let's go invite our podium sitters. I'm the only one up here, so I guess it's just my job now. Hopefully, Bad Hat recognizes it's me, because he didn't last time. It's funny. Once we get everyone into the party, is Zach here now?
Good run.
Waiting for Zach.
SF1. You know him?
Yeah, we can.
Alright. That was fun, dude.
So when I come to you, please click the box in the top of the party so I can come to you for your interview. I believe once we're waiting for Zach to get into the party. There he is. So Zach, when I come to you, which will be in about 3 seconds, click the box so I can hear your audio. Sure, it's all good. All right, so click the box, and we'll go to you, Zach. P3, you started from pole, and it looked like it was just very, very interesting indeed for that race. You had to go back from 6 seconds, and you caught the back of Aldifer and Bad Hunt and ended up grabbing that podium in the end. That is a great debut, I would say, for you from pole and P3. How would you think about it from your perspective of the day?
Yeah, pole was nice. It was a bit of a surprise considering how practice went, and then suddenly the car just felt amazing in quali. So that was good. The start was alright. So Skep got alongside me and we were wheel to wheel for like the whole sector. And then I ran wide. He got through, but then he spun out. Not sure if I had anything to do with that. I don't think it hit him, but unlucky from his point of view. And from there, it was pretty simple. Shout out to SF1, who's got some outrageous pace. That was just unbelievable. Not a chance I could keep up with that. So looking for P2. In the pits, I had my buttons mapped wrong. I was sat there for 10 seconds trying to get the car started again. Caught up the gap, and then yeah, it was a really fun battle for those last 5 laps. I really enjoyed that. So yeah.
Well, that was great to see. Definitely a lot of entertainment for me up at the booth and for the viewers. So congrats on your debut podium and the pole.
Thank you.
That's a great day from you, I would say.
Yeah, not bad.
Go to P2, Bad Hunt. That's another podium. That's P2 again, makes it another 1-2 for Lexus. This time, you're the only one on the podium, and actually, because of this, you are the championship leader going into the break. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, I was happy to get a top 5 here at Silverstone. Practice and qualifying, my car just wasn't there. And then when I started the race, about the 2nd or 3rd lap in, I knew something was working right for me. And the first lap, we had some people spinning. I went from 12th, I think I started, up to 3rd. And then Aldifer started knocking on the back door, so I just let him around. I wasn't trying to fight him, and ended up getting in an accident. Then I almost sped going in pit road. I was able to get it slowed down enough, and then everything worked out in the end. The last 5 laps are great. Yeah, good job, Zach. Awesome job, SF1.
Yep, an awesome job to you too. Actually, you go ahead. I thought you were done.
Yeah, I'm done, sorry.
All right. So congrats on you, and also you being the points leader going into the holiday break. Bathurst is up next for you. I know Zach's probably excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to spit for
what
that
exactly
one. Don't worry.
You have no life for the next
It's one
2
of my
weeks.
favorite
Just nothing but
tracks.
Bathurst.
Exactly.
So we got a
Well,
break
do
next
you
week?
think? Yes, we do. We have the Christmas holiday break. We'll be back in January, if I'm mistaken. Get Skeppy on that. But what is your, I guess, goal going into Bathurst? Do you want to see if you can try to help withhold that championship lead?
That's my goal going forward into every race. I know Bathurst is a tough track. It's just a matter of staying out of trouble. I think you're going to have to qualify up front because it's hard to get by if there is an accident in front of you because the walls are so close. But if you don't qualify up front, then you're going to be put behind no matter what. There's going to be an accident on the first lap, everybody trying to get position.
Yep, and it'll be fun to watch. And I know, because I wish, I don't know. Some of these days I'm like, maybe it's better if I compensate. But Bathurst will definitely be fun to drive. I can't wait to watch that. So congrats on your P2 and your championship lead now going into the break.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll go to our race winner, SF1776. Oh, I guess what a turn of emotions it was from last week to this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice not to get disconnected. Fortunately, had people battling behind me from.
All right. So, with this win now, I guess it more secures a redemption
I'm back,
day
sorry.
for you. Okay, I was trying to wonder what happened.
Yeah,
there.
my controller died, so we're good now.
So yeah, it's more of a redemption day to you, I guess, because it most likely would have been a win at Brands Hatch last week, and now it is the win at Silverstone. I guess just touch on your perspective from today's race.
It was a good race. I drove pretty well, especially those first few laps. I put in some really good laps, built a really big gap, and everyone else was kind of battling behind me, so it was pretty easy driving, honestly. Felt good, car felt great.
Well, speaking of the car, like I touched on with Bad Hunt, that is now the second race in a row. Lexus has gotten 1-2. This is actually the first race that they have not grabbed all 3 podium positions, with Zach being in his Porsche, the only, I guess, outlier. So now Lexus looks like they're a little bit stronger. Remember, I think you said you wanted to prove people wrong who said they doubted the Lexus. Well, what about now?
I think we're proving people wrong. Lexus is a great car. I will always stand by it. I think Zach should go to the Lexus. He could really help us out. So
I'll second
he had
that.
he had some insane pace and quality, especially. That was a 58.3 was ridiculous.
I have an
I'm
idea.
not sure where it
The
will.
entire ACC here goes to Lexus. But I think that'll pretty much do it from us, unless one of you guys want to say anything else up in the booth. I'll take that as a no. All right, then. We have a 2-week break, and we'll be back in January for round 3 of the BRL ACC tier for Bathurst. That'll be fun to watch and fun to tune in to if you do tune into the stream. But it's not the only thing we have. We have Tier 3 and Tier 4 for tomorrow and before the break week. But from me, Hank Hatcher up in the booth, and the rest of the podium sitters, we would like to wish you a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you guys later.